On this episode of Sandlot Sports, we talk about the current quarterback play in the NFL with Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence going down, what the hell happened to the Eagles, what's going on with Dallas, who's going to make the playoffs, who's not, and then we give our power rankings, our picks for upcoming games. We got some good ones this week, got some bad ones this week, but hey, it's the NFL. That's kind of what happens. And if you're listening to us on audio, on Google Podcast, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, thank you. We are branching out to YouTube, so look for us on there. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast, and don't forget to leave us comments wherever you may see us. We love hearing from you guys, and honestly, telling us that we're wrong. Welcome back to the number one sports podcast in Sanford, Florida. This is Sandlot Sports. I am Adam Capison. I'm here with Dorian Cody.
What up?
And BJ Thomas.
Let's go 49ers.
So before we get to the 49ers just decimation of the Eagles, is Jordan Love good?
Good enough.
Yeah, he's good enough.
I mean, the Packers might actually make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
I think the chance would be lessened had Kirk Cousins not been taken out.
So injuries do play a factor in making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was known. I don't know why that's a question.
Yeah.
I just asked Dorian about injuries and quarterbacks and playoffs.
Yeah. Don't look good, so.
Well, NFL is also not run on a voting system, though.
Yeah, there's an actual playoff where you play the games on the field, and the games on the field matter. But my biggest issue with the Jaguars last night was not so much Beathard at quarterback. They were competent when he was there. It was their defense.
Yeah.
I mean, Jake from State Farm just tore you guys up.
Yeah. No, he did. And my thing was, I was like, when it came to Jamar Chase, like, we should have two guys shadowing. Like, it's Jamar fucking Chase. Why are you putting him one-on-one? We have no one that can guard him or that can even compete with him one-on-one. And
are you pissed because the Jaguars are, so BJ beat you in fantasy football? I don't know which
Joe
is which.
Mixon!
I mean...
Joe Mixon beat him. Beat him.
He's beating me right now 190 to 129. So
yeah, I didn't want to talk shit because I could not believe what was happening this weekend. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. But Tyreek Hill, like, I was just like, fuck. I knew when I saw that one pass for 70 yards, I'm like,
no, that's what I knew. I had a good shot. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing today?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he had 2 catches for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, Randy Moss numbers.
CD Lamb Thursday night caught 11 of 14 targets.
Yeah.
And then A-Chan came in and mopped up and had 25 points. And so I'm thinking, anything, and this is all with Josh Allen on the bench, by the way, because he's on his bye week. So I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, man, like anything Joe gets.
So you're supposed to bench players on their bye weeks. Oops.
Yeah.
I still won.
Anything Joe Mixon does is a bonus. And this son of a bitch had his best game of the year. I was like,
best game of the year.
Oh, I got 4 30-point guys today. This is excellent.
Yeah, so I got shafted with no Vaseline, but they're still.
It's not over. Anything could happen, but it's just that was a good start to the playoffs for my team.
But I lost Trevor Lawrence too. So.
Yeah.
He's my starting fucking quarterback.
You have to cut Kyler Murray so you can have something.
No, at this point,
with my luck, Kyler would drop 40.
Yeah, he dropped 40.
He dropped 12 for me, filling in for Josh Allen. I'd cut him. He dropped 40 for Dorian, and Dorian would win by 2.
Oh my god! I'll be like, the football gods love me.
Yeah.
But I will say, I noticed something watching the game on Monday and watching the games over the weekend is, if you throw the ball down the field and don't just check down every single time, Derek Carr, like you can actually move the ball.
That requires accuracy. Not everybody possesses that.
Jake from State Farm did.
Yeah.
I told you I was talking to the guys in my other fantasy league. I picked up Browning, but I had Stafford too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, He's like, oh, it's sad that you're picking up Browning because Burrow went out. And I was like, he's a pretty solid backup. He's been in the system for 3 years and he's had a start or two. I think he's going to be okay. I didn't think I'm not saying I knew that was going to happen. I'm not saying that at all. I just thought he'd be okay. I thought he could Cooper rush it.
Yeah. I knew that the Jags were in trouble when he was getting the ball to number 16 and getting the ball to T Higgins, like, and there was no, like, our pass rush was non-existent. I mean, Josh Allen had like one sack, and he had like maybe 2 hurries, but other than that, like, Jake from State Farm was just like sitting there like, I'll throw it to you this time,
dude,
and I'll throw it to you next. So be on the lookout. Like, he was just, he kicked our ass, man.
Jamar Chase put up a game like Joe Burrow was back there.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on?
Right.
That was a fun game to watch last night. I know it wasn't the way you wanted it to turn out, but if your team wasn't involved, you would have been happy watching that football game. That was a good game to watch.
I mean, but the main thing is, like, moving forward, like, I know with Trevor Lawrence being, they're talking about him being out at least 2 weeks.
It's a high ankle sprain, so it's going to be at least 2. My guess is probably until the playoffs.
I tried to break that happy news to you. I tried to break that happy news to you before you went to bed. I was like, maybe if I tell him it's just an ankle sprain, he'll feel better.
So I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't look at anything.
I was trying to help. I was really trying to help. I was like, maybe this will make him happy if I send this to him before he goes to bed. So I sent it to you as soon as I read it. I was like, oh, preliminary tests are saying ankle sprain. I was like, yeah, it's not so bad. And then it said high ankle sprain. I was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, the Jaguars are our remaining games that we have that worries the fuck out of me. We have the Browns in Cleveland. We have the Ravens in Jacksonville. Buccaneers, So the 2 games that we desperately need to win, we're not going to have Trevor Lawrence. The Browns defense is ranked, I think, number 2.
They're up there.
The Browns defense is number 1 overall, and the Ravens defense is number 2 overall.
Yeah,
that's fun.
So we're going to end up being 8 and
6,
5, 8 and 6, yeah.
8 and 6, and then we got Bucks, Panthers, and Titans. So depending on when Trevor comes back,
you're going to be 11 and 6. That's your ceiling.
I'm hoping, but that Buccaneer game could be a fucking trap game.
Yeah,
they're a weird team. They're a very weird team.
Well, right. Here's your problem. Okay, I can pinpoint your problem right now. You're 30th, Jacksonville's 30th in pass defense. They have a worse pass defense than the Denver Broncos, who gave up 1 million yards to the Miami Dolphins way back when.
And you're only a game up on Indianapolis and Houston.
Right.
Your division was supposed to be the toilet bowl. We were supposed to be able to laugh about your division all year. Now look at it.
Yeah.
It's one of the most competitive in football.
Yeah.
So. That and the AFC North was at one point. Still is, kind of.
It still is. I mean,
2 games set in the top 3 teams, separating the top 3 teams.
Yeah, and Cincinnati is still at 500.
Wow. I mean, like, that could be interesting if Browning continues to play like he's played. Wow.
You figure, okay, Cincinnati's a game out of the playoffs right now.
Yeah. So Cincinnati has the Colts, which is a winnable game. They have the Vikings, which is a winnable game. They have the Steelers, Chiefs, and Browns. So out of those 5 games, they should be able to win 3 of those 5?
Oh, 4 of those are winnable. They'll win at least 3, but 4 of those are winnable.
Yeah, the Chiefs are not the Chiefs.
Yeah, that is true.
They're an odd team.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about it all year. Who is Mahomes going to throw to?
I don't know. I think maybe we should invest in some drafting a wide receiver or something. Maybe something different.
You think?
Maybe sign one to free agency. Maybe trade for one. You can't. The NFL's skill level is getting to the point these days that one man cannot do it anymore. The days of Brady running an offense. Now you got to remember, Brady's the unicorn, but a guy of that talent level running an offense made up of a hodgepodge of veterans and rookies is just not going to cut it. cornerbacks, the defensive backs are too skilled. The pass rushes are getting more intense across the board. It seems like every team has somewhat of a legitimate pass rush. I mean, the Lions defense has been suffering for like 6 weeks in a row, and they can still sack you.
Yeah.
They might not be able to cover you,
yeah,
but they can sack you.
They need to sack you because if you have time, you're going to complete it down the field.
It seems like it. Gee whiz.
I believe somebody called that at the start of the season. The Lions defense was not where it needed to be. Maybe they should have drafted some defensive players.
If you choke on yourself during the show, I'm not calling your wife.
That's fine.
You can just sit there and turn blue like that shirt.
So question. So, what's the issue with Kelsey? Do you think he's not 100%, or do you think that he's thinking retirement?
He's the only target. I feel like they're crowding the area around him and daring Mahomes to beat him somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a tight end, so he has to work the middle, realistically. And it gets crowded there.
He's never really been like an outside tight end.
No. And he's also 34 years old.
Yeah, but he's been playing decent football to this point. He lost in front of Taylor. I wonder how sad she was.
I mean, think about it. Kelsey's only had 2 100 receiving yard games all year. 2. This is Travis fucking Kelsey.
Well, a lot of things, they haven't been using the running game appropriately until last week. Yeah. This was the first week that they actually like committed to Pacheco, and Pacheco, really ate up that defense. That's going to help everything else. Mm-hmm. And we've been talking about this for years. It's basic football. If you run the football effectively, people have to creep down towards the line of scrimmage to stop it. If they do that, it opens up everything on the back end. It is a fundamental truth of football. And if they do that, it'll make Kelsey's life easier. It'll make the rookie Rice's life easier. I just don't understand why people, it's like sometimes I think they just get so comfortable with Patrick saving their butt, or insert great quarterback here saving their butt, that they're just like, throw it 50 times. Yeah. We got it. We'll figure it out. And it's never how it works. It might work for a game. It might work for 3 games. It will not work for 17 games.
Well, and offensive coordinators by default are greedy. By default, most offensive coordinators are not going to take the 3 or 4 yard win every single play. But last time I checked, if you get 4 yards every single play, do it on 3 plays in a row, that's 12. 12 is more than 10. You keep moving the ball down the field. It's not sexy, but it works.
It's also a cumulative thing. You keep beating a defense to death, making them hit you, making them hit linemen, making them run into huge people constantly. They're going to get tired. They're going to get sore. You're going to eat at their will a little bit. Like, it's just, these are all fundamental truths of football. We're not making this shit up. You can wear a defense down mentally and physically by running the football, and it makes your life much easier across the board.
I feel like the 3 of us have said this like multiple times.
Yeah, I know, but because we never played college football or didn't play pro football, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we've probably watched as much football as any one of them ever has.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand it. Like, there was a stat a few years ago. Has the number 1 passer in the league ever won a Super Bowl?
I
want to say yes, but I'll pull up the stats real quick.
You mean in the same season?
Yeah, like the most yards, most time. Like, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's not a common thing.
Yeah.
I just feel like that stat came up a few years ago and was a thing. Not positive.
Yeah, let's pull it up. Okay, so last year, actually, it happened. Mahomes led the league in passing yards last year, and they won the title. Okay. Year before that, Brady won. Brady was the passing leader, but that was the year that Stafford won the title. But then it was Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, Roethlisberger, Brady in 17. I don't know if they won the Super Bowl that year.
No, they didn't, because of the Giants. No, not the Giants. I'm thinking 2007. No, 17. Yeah, they did, because
they lost to Philly that year.
Was Philly?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Drew
We
Brees in
definitely lost.
16. Drew Brees in 15 and 16. Roethlisberger and Brees somehow tied with the same number of yards in 14.
That's crazy.
Peyton Manning in 13. I think he won the title that year.
Yeah, with the Broncos.
No, they lost to the Seahawks that year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Brees in 11 and 12. Phillip Rivers in 10. Matt Schaub led the league in passing in 2009.
Dang.
That year, Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson were the real deal.
Yeah.
For a couple seasons.
Drew Brees again in 08. I don't think that's when the Saints won. Nope, that's when the Steelers won. Okay, where was I? Tom Brady in 07. Well, that was the year the Giants beat him. 06 was Brees again. 05 was Brady.
And they won the Super Bowl, I think, in 05.
No, that was the Steelers.
The Steelers? Oh, okay.
Yep. 2004 was Dante Culpepper. 03 was Manning. 2002 was Rich Gannon. 2001 was Kurt Warner. I think that was the year the Patriots beat them. 2000 was Peyton Manning. 1999, Steve Berline led the league in passing yards.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so it's not a common thing.
No.
To be the most prolific passer in a season and win the Super Bowl. It doesn't guarantee anything. It's not even likely. So run the damn football. Play balanced offense.
There was a stat going back to this list. I think it was 01, 02, when Marshall Faulk was on the Rams, and that was the greatest show on turf. And this goes back to my point of offensive coordinators are inherently greedy. If Marshall Faulk had 20 rush attempts in a game, I want to say from 99 to 02,
they were undefeated or one loss.
It was insane.
It's something insane.
Yeah.
But they only did it like maybe 18 games of that entire stretch. And you're like, this works. What are you doing?
Ego.
Yep.
Ego. The only thing that makes sense. It's ego or total ignorance, either of which are completely unexcusable.
And the problem is that a lot of times it's both.
I don't know. I would hope that I would be aware enough to notice that I'm getting away from what makes my team great. I would like to think that. I'm not saying I would. We all get caught up on our own bullshit. Everybody does. But I would like to think that I'm capable of that. But damn it, man. Like you see it constantly in the NFL. Like the Chargers this year. What are you doing with Austin Eckler?
Yeah.
You're getting away. You're not doing what has made you guys successful over the past, 5 years? 4 years? What are you doing? He's supposedly healthy. He looks good when he has the ball.
Yeah, now this past week he had 14 carries for 18 yards.
Boy.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about the Chargers, little side note here, who won that Kellen Moore deal?
I'm going to go with Dallas on that one.
I was upset when he left. I will not lie. I'm not upset that he's gone. I was like, dang it, what's wrong with scoring a bunch of points? Well, it puts your defense at a disadvantage if you're just constantly 5 plays and off the field, 5 plays and off the field. I don't know.
He's not utilizing the running back, and I thought that when he was in Dallas, he utilized
Zeke and Tony. Zeke had like 13 touchdowns last year.
Right.
Yeah, Dallas has the 11th best rushing offense in the league this year.
Which absolutely boggles my mind. I would, if you were not looking at a computer screen right now, I'd call bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I don't know if you watched any Cowboy games. It doesn't look like it. It does not look like it. And maybe Tony's not making the splash plays he did last year, and that's what I'm kind of getting in my brain, but it sure does not look like it. But
well, and that's kind of where they've been the past few seasons is 10 to 15.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's this trend in the NFL for, I don't know, as long as I've been watching it, where good teams get away from what wins them games. They get into a slump and they don't recover. for the whole season.
Yeah.
And people get fired over it. And it's like, wait, you were doing it. What happened?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Well, and I will say this. I know I texted you guys over the weekends, like, did an NFL game actually end 6-0? Yes, an NFL game ended 6-0. But you know what? That 6-0 won the game.
Yeah.
You might win ugly. You're still winning.
Yeah, but 14 carries for 18 yards. Or vice versa, whatever it was. Oof.
Yeah, that's still a problem.
That's a real problem.
But you're winning the game. You're doing whatever it takes to win the game.
But I will say this. The fact that they were not running the ball good or well, not running the ball well, and still did it 14 times.
With Eckler. He
That's
ran it 14
intelligence.
times.
Yeah. So they probably ran it 25 times.
24.
Okay. That's intelligent because it still wears the defense down. It still does that. They're still having to have those collisions 25 times. You're forcing them to have those collisions.
And the defense still has to respect the fact that you're going to try to run the ball.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. I know Dorian touched on it in the college football segment, is play action is huge. If the defense actually thinks you're going to run the ball, the linebackers will commit. Now, they will read it well, but that half a second where they have to think about is this run or pass, that's the difference between a incomplete pass, a 5-yard pass, or 20-yard catch and run.
Yeah, and you're doing it with a great back like Eckler. If you do mess up and miss a tackle, he's gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I appreciate the Chargers giving it a shot. I don't know what's going to fix that team though. A new coach.
Yeah. Well, we've been saying that for a while.
I don't know what else. I mean,
I think the stage last year.
I mean, wouldn't you? If I were ownership, I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but who's going to get fired first? Staley, Rivera, Eberflus in Chicago?
Oh, they could all take the same bus probably.
Just pick them all up. Just go to the loop.
Pick them all up. Yeah. If Chicago keeps their coach, I wouldn't even know what to think.
Oh, I have a Bears fan at work that she's like, when they fired the running backs coach, or he got dismissed for weird things they didn't disclose, she literally screamed at the office, "You fired the wrong coach."
Yeah, one of our listeners, Mike, I don't know, man. I just think he's kind of like you as a Lions fan. Like, he's so numb to this shit anymore. I don't even know what he feels. I don't know what he feels about this coach. Like, maybe just like, oh, they're going to mess up the next hire, so I don't know.
Do you think Frank Reich should get a nod for maybe Chicago or...
I don't know. I mean, I feel like he'd be an upgrade over Eberflus.
Yeah,
that's true.
But is that just another stepping stone until the coach you need? You know what I mean? Like, is it just like another 3 years that you're wasting of these? Because this is what you're really doing. You're wasting 3 years of these people's career.
Yeah.
Players, GMs, other coaches. Like, somebody in that organization has to make the right call on this, and I don't know who it is. I'll tell you one thing. I've seen the Lions offensive coordinator bouncing around a little bit. Johnson?
Keep his name out your mouth. He needs to stay in Detroit.
I don't think so. Unfortunately, you know how it goes. There's a good chance.
Ben Johnson's been coming up in a lot of coaching searches because look what he's done.
And I feel like I'm about to speak this into existence, but Dan Quinn's name's got to be on a lot of people's list. Our defense scores more. Our defense probably scored more this year than the Panthers.
So could you see, like for example, so Johnson could make an impact as head coach for the Chargers, especially what he did for the Lions offense. He could potentially spark the Chargers offense.
The Chargers need somebody who understands the game of football, which seems ridiculously obvious, but also understands what it takes to play quarterback and what it takes to play offense. Because Herbert has the talent. I don't think mentally he understands how to play the NFL, quarterback in the NFL. And he needs someone to reel him in. He's always been, that gunslinger, even at Oregon.
He's just West Coast Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's West Coast. He's California Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Even has the haircut.
I'm going to throw this ball through a tire 50 yards downfield. Watch. interception.
Yeah. And what about Dan Quinn to Chicago? Man, because Chicago got some studs on defense.
Honestly, Dan Quinn took the Falcons to a Super Bowl with Matt Ryan at the helm. Like, he could improve a lot of teams. I don't think Chicago's one of them.
Now, yeah, if
they got a real problem, they got a real problem at the quarterback position.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're Chicago, I mean, this was basically the year for Justin Fields to prove it.
Yeah, because they have too many draft picks.
Yeah, and so
if I were Chicago, I'm going 1-2 with quarterbacks and let them duke it out.
Definitely going Caleb Williams.
Why?
Hey,
I mean,
he doesn't play defense. This year was not his fault. He played stellar quarterback a lot of the season.
I mean, realistically, wouldn't you want a top flight offensive tackle and get a quarterback in the second round?
Not when you have the best running back playing quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said in the group chat the other day when Mike was trying to pump me up. 15 years ago, Justin Fields would be playing wide receiver in the CFL by now.
Basically, Denard Robinson.
I was thinking Terrell Pryor.
Yeah,
because
same school.
Denard Robinson's a midget.
Terrell Pryor. Wow. What happened to him? Where is he? Yeah.
I'm gonna guess, but I'm probably gonna get yelled at. So I'll look it
up. because he played stint at he played receiver, and I was like, wow, he's a receiver.
Okay, yeah. He immediately converted to receiver because he was not a quarterback. The last team that he was on the roster for, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. He must have didn't play.
Okay, I'm going to say this in all honesty. Okay, when you talked about Terrell Pryor, when you asked where he was, I was going to say jail because on October 6th of 2021, Pryor was arrested after allegedly slapping his ex-girlfriend and throwing pumpkins at her car.
Oh, wow. Talking about fall from grace.
See, these are the moments right here that racists die for. See, like,
I told you.
Some people are gonna be like, "Nah, you're racist," and then you say something like that, and it's like, "Haha, that's the one I was talking about."
Damn, Terrell.
I mean, it's like the headline that I literally saw come across my Facebook feed today. A Florida man has found himself behind bars because he pooped this. A police officer watched him poop on a dead possum in traffic.
Florida.
What a shit.
Florida man is real.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
So,
surprised somebody didn't catch it and throw it at a car.
No, that would have been San Francisco.
Huh. Oh.
No.
So, you boys ready to do some power rankings?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah. BJ, who's your one?
49ers.
You mean not Philadelphia?
Got to be the man to beat the man.
They did.
They did. They slaughtered them, actually. They gutted them on national TV. It's fun to watch.
Dorian?
I got white chocolate and the 49ers.
I would like to say I wasn't tugging it while it happened, but I was tugging it.
Do I need to do a hand check again?
Oh, no, the game's over.
Okay. Did you have it on the background, though?
Yeah, I'm watching it again.
Touchdown, Deebo Samuel. Oh.
That was great.
So when
Deebo, tell him to give him your chain. Tell him to give him your chain.
When San Francisco played Cleveland earlier in the year and Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel got hurt, we talked about this, and I think all three of us agreed that Trent Williams was the biggest injury from that game. Since he has come back, they have not lost, and that's why they're also number one in my power rankings.
Mm-hmm.
BJ, who's your number 2?
Probably have to say Baltimore.
Yeah. Dorian?
Yeah, I got Baltimore. Yeah,
I got Baltimore as well because I was not putting Philly at number 2. BJ, who's your number 3?
Kansas City hanging on by a thread.
Okay. Dorian?
I have Miami.
Yeah, I was struggling at 3 because I was like, okay, yeah, the top 2, Baltimore, San Francisco, I'm cool.
Seems pretty clear.
And then I got the 3 and went, Kansas City just lost. Miami beat up on Robot Ron there in Washington. I don't really know if that counts as a good game. But, you start going to kind of like head to head. Philadelphia beat Miami, so I'm putting Philly at 3. BJ?
That's where the Eagles are for me.
At 4?
Mm-hmm.
Dorian, who's your 4?
At 4, I have the Lions.
Oh, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. So I've got Miami at 4. BJ, who do you have at 5?
The Cowboys. I feel like they've earned their way back.
Dorian?
Yep, I got CDs and the Cowboys.
Yeah, at 5, I've got Dallas as well. So now for the Trash Badgers. BJ, I'll let you kick us off.
Yes. There's no more joy than I get to start with putting the Patriots at number 32. I just got goosebumps.
Dorian?
Yep. I got Pickles, Bill, and the Patriots. 32.
1936. A long ass time ago. That was before the World War One. Or I'm sorry, before World War II. It was after World War One.
I was like, holy shit, you're bad at this.
I'm horrible at math. That was the last time a team lost 3 games in a row while giving up 10 points or less in all 3 games. Until this past week. I'm going New England Patriots. And I just want a camera, like on their practice facility, like the offensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator, and just whoever the defensive coordinator is this year, just go Buddy Ryan on the offensive coordinator.
You know what Bill Belichick is doing? I don't worry about it. We'll get Caleb Williams next year.
Dude,
do the best you can.
Like, okay, so New England is the Thursday night game this week. Okay? Normally they have like the player from one team versus the player of the other, yada, yada, yada. They're playing the Steelers. So the Steelers, hey, look, it's TJ Watt going against New England. Who's the player for New England that they showcased? There isn't one. It's Bill Belichick.
No talent.
Yeah. You might as well put Caleb Williams in the Patriots jersey there, because that's what's going to happen. But go ahead. Carry on.
DJ, who's your 31?
I mean, does it get much worse than the Panthers? The Panthers could technically be 32, but it doesn't feel the same.
Right.
So we'll go with 31 Panthers.
Dorian?
Same. Going with Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers are 1-11, which is technically a game worse than New England, but they don't have the draft pick. I could not tell you, other than Bryce Young and Adam Thielen, who plays on that team.
Brian Burns, the defensive end, because I was hoping he was going to get traded to the Cowboys during the trade deadline. But that's about it. That's all I got for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I could have got. There's a good chance I got his name wrong too, so I don't know.
I got Joe Horn's son, J.C. Horn.
Yeah, there you go.
Cornerback.
There you go.
See, we can do this.
We know sports.
Barely.
Yeah. And Shaq Griffin.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, Chuba. Chuba.
So, BJ, who do you have at 30?
There's a team that's worse than them in division, but -9 yards. The New York Giants. What the fuck? That's going to go at least another. I'm going to give them a full month in the Trash Badgers. since the -9 yards. So I think they have one more week.
Dude, -9 is now officially been their starting quarterback because Tyrod Taylor is coming back, and they're like, no, we're going to take Tommy DeVito.
It can't get worse.
They've won 2 in a row.
I know, but I'm putting him in there because I mean, an NFL team that completes a game with -9 passing yards should be punished, and they will be punished for one more week.
Dorian?
I got the DeVito family and the Giants at number 30.
Yeah,
You making fun of Italian Americans over there?
Yeah,
So I'm not. Don't you do that.
That's what you're doing?
You are not the person to be doing that.
Don't you do that.
No,
Oh my God,
that should
Father,
definitely be
me.
done by a white man, Adam. You're correct. If anybody's going to mock a race, a creed, or any other nationality, it should definitely be done by a white man. To be historically accurate.
Yeah. Hey, Molly. Hey, don't call me that.
So, I had a midget quarterback at 31. I have a midget quarterback at 30. I've got the Arizona Cardinals.
Can't say midget anymore. See, I told you, white man.
During search history, his midget points. I think I can use midget.
No, he told me he changed it to dwarf.
I prefer typing in midget than dwarf porn. It's just a little weird.
Comes up with
it's not like gnome though.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Gnome porn.
Yeah, gnome porn. Or elf. This is getting way more degrading as it goes on.
look at the furry porn.
Off subject, but okay.
Just trying to go lower.
Lower. There's a kid at work that came out one time and told me how to lift something, and all he did was stuff envelopes like advertisements, and he was like, he's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Oh man, I hurt my shoulder." He's like, "Well, maybe you should lift like that." I said, "Maybe you should go back to stuffing envelopes and watching your Japanese tentacle porn." That was 7 years ago. A guy that started here 2 years ago heard about that joke and said that in front of me. He's like, "Yeah, Evan was home watching his tentacle porn last night." I was like, "That's my joke. It's still around." And so he took me aside one day. We were just talking about bullshit, and I made the tentacle porn joke again. He's like, "That one really hurts. And not because it's necessarily a good joke, because it's stuck." And I was like, that's all I needed to hear. So as long as you're not watching tentacle porn, it can't be that bad. Look it up, Dorian. Just look it up.
No, I'm good.
Look it up. If you don't laugh instantly. If you don't laugh instantly.
I could imagine what that shit is.
Really? Of all the things, a fucking octopus, people. Leave it up to America.
Yeah, we gotta break everything else. So we'll make our picks for this week. So our first game is Tampa versus Atlanta. Atlanta's a 2.5-point favorite. I believe Desmond Ridder is still quarterbacking Atlanta.
I guess I'm going to go with Atlanta because they're starting to figure out that Bijan Robinson exists.
Oh, so a team goes with what works and they just keep that up?
Well, don't get excited. It took fucking 11 games. Fantasy owners everywhere, like, you ruined my season, and then when I'm out of it, now you want to cut them loose. Thanks.
Yeah.
Dorian?
Yeah, same. I got the Falcons.
So because our standings are abysmal, like except for Dorian, Dorian's 35-24. I'm 25-34. BJ is bringing up the rear at 21-38.
Did I improve a point?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go with Tampa. I'm going to go with Mike Evans breaking out again. So our next game is Jacksonville versus Cleveland. I had to double check this one. So when I made the games last night, or before the game last night, Jacksonville was actually favored by a field goal. Now Cleveland's favored by 3.
It's a touchdown swing.
Yep.
I'm going with the Cleveland Browns because of ankles and whatnot.
Dorian, you got to pick with your head or with your heart?
Dick.
Yeah. Well, Joe Flacco is going to be playing quarterback, I believe, right?
Yes, Joe Flacco is playing quarterback for the Browns.
Yeah. So, and our pass defense sucks. So I'm going with Cleveland. Hope I'm wrong, but
yeah, as far as I know, Flacco is still playing, even though DTR is coming back. I'm gotta go with Cleveland as well, just because. I mean, it's CJ Beathard. CJ Beathard.
The disrespect is real.
Yes. So our next game is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is a 7-point favorite.
I guess I gotta go with the Ravens. That defense is top notch.
Ravens.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Ravens too. I know Stafford's really kicking it up, but Baltimore is just so much better. Okay. The next one is Buffalo versus Kansas City.
This is gonna be a tough one. It's a tough call anymore. The Chiefs' defense is better. Man, I really don't know about this game. Why isn't this a 1-point spread? I don't see why it's not. I guess just a home field advantage, I'm going Kansas City, but I really feel like Buffalo could win this.
Kansas City doesn't put that fear. I'm picking Buffalo.
So the spread is 3. Josh Allen still plays for Buffalo, right?
Yes.
Okay. What's his record in one-score games?
Not great. I'm guessing is where you're going with this.
Yeah, it's not even not great. It's terrible. I'm going with Kansas City. So, BJ, I'll let you pick this next game first. Philly versus Dallas.
I don't want to.
Dallas is a 3.5-point favorite.
I don't like that either. Oh, man. I got to pick the Cowboys. They lost that game by a total of 4 inches, I think, last time. Between Schoonmaker missing that touchdown by a fraction, and Dak Prescott stepping out just before he's about to score, I'm going with the Cowboys. They've been pretty good at home.
Dorian?
Yeah. What I've seen from the Niners when they played the Eagles is how they were able to pretty much keep Jalen Hurts in his place. I believe the Cowboys are going to do the same thing, so I'm going to pick the Cowboys.
Why would you say such things? Keep him in his place? Oh, God, I hope so.
I'm going to go with the fact that I don't think Philly loses 2 in a row. I'm going Philly.
Damn.
So,
I don't know. That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah,
I hope it's at least a good game. It's a division game. It should be.
It should be close.
I would think so.
But Philly's secondary isn't anything to be like, shit. Like,
I fully expect CD to have a good game.
I need Brandon Cooks to have a good game too. Show some love too, Dak. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
you already tapped out on our fantasy matchup, haven't you? You already moved on to your next league.
Pretty no, there. I mean, I'm 60 points from.
Yeah, I'm Philly's
fucking year in a row that I lose to BJ. I don't know what the fuck it is, man. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm your fantasy football kryptonite.
You know what? It's a conspiracy. I gotta talk to my cousin Zoe to see if what he told me is true.
Hey,
what do you say? Well, no, what do you say? What do you say? I want to know. What do you say? What do you say?
Hey, Dorian.
He said you have some type of. He said you have some type of inside shit where you be having these solid teams.
Now here's what you do.
I had the 7th pick in the draft. I had one of the worst draft picks. Like, I was picking like what 7th and 11th.
Take all your concerns to the commissioner of the league, and he will address them.
Yeah, I'll do it. I've been waiting. See, Zoe doesn't say anything to me anymore, so I was waiting for somebody to say something. I would like tell me in your wildest fantasy what I did to make 6 of you motherfuckers leave me Tyreek Hill at 7. And then I know every one of you did not want to pick CD Lamb. Every one of you did not want to pick.
I would have, but you picked him before me, though.
Yeah,
I needed to. Yeah.
Every one of you wouldn't have picked CD Lamb because of what happened with Dak Prescott last year. I did because, as I recall, he was on my fantasy team last year. In the last 5 games of the season, he went apeshit. Well, guess what's happening?
Yep.
So that's just the 2. I picked George Kittle. Like, that was terrible. That still hasn't really panned out for me but 2 games this year. You're muted, Adam.
Sorry, yeah, completely off topic. I completely forgot that George Kittle is another one of those Iowa tight ends.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. Kittle, Hawkinson,
Laporta.
Laporta.
Yeah, Laporta.
And there's a lot of Big Ten tight ends.
Yeah. You have one on your team.
Jake Ferguson and Hendershot's one too, I think.
Yeah, he's from Indiana.
Yeah.
Schoonmaker's from Michigan.
No, that's the thing right now is to get a Big Ten, a giant white dude, and let him go out there and run some routes.
Yeah, Fairman was from Penn State, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the only other thing I can think anybody would be mad at me about was being smart enough to pick up Achane, because I watched Texas A&M football last year and I was like, damn, that kid's fast.
Oh yeah, I remember we talked about Achane last year.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna take a flyer on Achane. I had an extra slot. I had nobody on my bench making any points. I think I had consistently maybe like 15 points a week on my bench. It was terrible, so I was like, I'll take a shot on Achane. Yeah, so no, I pay attention. That's my secret.
So on that mic drop, I think we'll end it for the night. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sandlot Sports.
What?
Sandlot, whatever. I don't care. I'm tired.